I didn't put shotgun on here, but I think we probably both agree on shotgun.
On three. 1, 2, 3.
12
12
gauge.
gauge.
Yeah. There's no other choice, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
For a kid, a 20 gauge,
Yep.
410, I get it. For me, I'm not shooting a 410 or
No.
20 gauge. I can shoot 20 gauge with my freaking one arm out,
Yep.
fully extended.
Yep.
12 gauge, that's give me some kick on that.
Exactly.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Well, or good afternoon, or good morning.
Whenever you're listening to this, hello to you.
Hello, and welcome to the Ultimate Buffet Podcast. My name is Chris,
My name is Sean.
and we are here. We're gonna sit down, talk with you guys. Episode number 3.
Number 3, episode 1 and 2 are in the books.
In the books, all available on Apple, Spotify, and Amazon for your listening pleasures.
I like it.
You can listen on YouTube as well for episode 1 and 2.
Yep.
So yeah, we're available on all that. Some new news though.
Ooh.
New news.
New news.
We have a way for people to subscribe to our channel other than our other platforms.
I like it.
We now have a Patreon account.
How do you spell that?
So Patreon, yes, would be Patreon. So if you go to patreon.com/theultimatebuffet, that will bring you to our Patreon page.
Okay, I like it.
So we're still developing a little bit there, but you guys can go on. We're going to have different levels of membership. We're going to have a silver, a gold, and a platinum level for monthly subscriptions. And we're going to be adding some stuff. We're going to have some merchandise coming out. So this is just continuing to grow.
You know, one thing I actually like about this is it's extremely affordable.
Yeah, absolutely.
The different memberships here. So silver being $5 a month, gold being $10 a month, and platinum $20 a month.
Yep. So for silver, for $5 a month, you'll get early access to episodes. So after this episode that we post on episode 3, since this is the one that we're really announcing this will be released on Thursday.
Okay.
Today's Wednesday that we're recording. We'll release it Thursday. Moving forward, we're not going to release till the Monday afterwards.
Okay.
So
that sounds good.
Anyone that's subscribed for early access, you'll be able to get it on Thursdays. All those other ones will have to wait till the following Monday to get on.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
And then for gold memberships, you're going to get the same thing, early access to the episodes with exclusive content. And then the platinum is going to be the big daddy. As of right now, we might have to make a bigger one day. But you're going to get exclusive access. You're going to get that exclusive content. You're going to get behind the scenes content. So we're going to do, that's where most of our video is going to come into play, is for our behind the scenes.
Okay, nice.
The photo shoots that we do, that kind of stuff. And then we're also going to add fan requests in there. So everyone knows we do a whiskey of the night. And so that one is going to be, fan requests on some of those. So we might just get a fan request.
Real quick, one thing you mentioned was a photo shoot. Do I have to dress up for that, or is that
Well, what you're wearing is fine. You know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just wasn't sure if
that
was a dress code or not.
Perfect shirt for tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
good old Second Amendment.
Yeah. So so that's where our memberships are going to be at, and then so you can go on our Patreon account. So patreon.com/theultimatebuffet. And as always, guys, we have our email. If you want to email us and ask questions, we're open and honest. Like, you don't have to, just be a Patreon account just to write us an email. You can write us an email. We still have sponsorships available if you guys want to sponsor, or if you know of companies that want to sponsor. But the Ultimate Buffet Podcast at gmail.com is our email address.
Awesome. And with the sponsorships, we love to support local. So if you or anybody that you know has a local small to medium sized business that would like a shout out and some sponsorship, yeah, let us know.
Absolutely. And, we're in Placer County, California. So Placer County, Sacramento County, Nevada County. We got a big area that we, actually go out and see, which is really nice to do.
I like it.
And then with, going back to talks before guest speakers, we're going to have local people come in and talk about,
And that's actually coming up here in the next couple episodes,
yeah,
right?
yeah, we have
Okay.
some things in the works right now on getting some local people in the area to come hang out with us and talk with us.
Awesome.
So
Good.
perfect. So why don't we get into the whiskey of the day?
Okay, I like it. What
So
do we got going here?
so for today's whiskey, we have a Winchester Kentucky Straight Bourbon. Winchester, yeah.
Nice play on words for the podcast.
Yeah, so Winchester, because if you don't know, today's episode is about firearms.
Ooh, okay. So Winchester bourbon whiskey would definitely fit that category.
It just goes hand in hand. Well, why don't we get a sip in here? And
Cheers.
yeah.
There was an issue with my glass. There was a hole
Oh, it's
in
empty.
it.
It's yeah. Oh,
So we'll have to just do a little dollop of Daisy.
well, I think you might have to add a little bit more in mine as well. So we'll have to do that. And
There you go, Chris.
well, thank you very much, sir. And since you did do that, why don't we do another cheers?
Cheers. Wow, that's actually really good.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Right, and decent price on that bottle.
Awesome.
So perfect. So just a little overview. So on today's episode, everything's firearms related, but we're gonna go into it. We're not trying to be political, nothing like that on this one. It's more of an educational piece. So
I like that. Good.
talking about gun safety, cleaning, storage, why people need firearms, want firearms, or people don't like firearms, and I think we can have this good discussion on that. We're going to talk about how storing your firearms and ammo is very important. And then we're going to go into a little bit of our favorites because, it is just two of us talking about it. And why not talk about our favorite firearms, our favorite calibers, and break that down. And then maybe some gun upgrades.
Okay.
And then we'll end the episode.
Okay, I like it.
So perfect. Well, let's start off first. So just educational piece.
Okay.
Why do people need firearms?
I would think, if I were an outsider looking in, I would think, why would someone need a firearm? Well, protection, hunting,
Yep.
the sport of shooting firearms.
Yep.
I think are probably the top three that I think anybody would kind of come up with.
I agree. And a lot of people, you talk about a shotgun and there's so many uses for a shotgun. You have the simple as home defense, right?
Yep.
It's probably one of the number one home defense guns out there.
I would agree with that.
Very simple to use, reliable, all of the above. Then you have your hunting aspects, right? You can hunt multiple animals with a shotgun.
You can.
And then, 3, the sport. You and I have done some sporting clays and skeet shooting.
Yep.
And had just blasts. We could be out there for hours and
It's
just
such a good time. We have a really good track out here as well.
Yeah. So we go out there and you just shoot, and a shotgun has some good kick to it.
It does. If you don't hold it right, you get a bruise right there on that inner elbow.
Yeah. And you go through 100, 200 rounds of ammo. You're feeling it, but it's just so much fun. I so enjoy it.
It is. It's definitely a blast. And actually, speaking of sporting clays, I took my wife out. This was a handful of years ago, and we went to a local range here. And the first shot, she hit the clay.
Nice.
And she was ecstatic.
That's awesome.
And then it was downhill from there. But she had fun, and that's what matters.
I got a good story. We took my mom out one time. My dad and I took my mom out to shoot. And we gave her a shotgun. We put one shell in it. And we said, "Hey, shoot this." We didn't tell her anything about it.
Oh no!
And she shot it, and she's literally not even in like a staggered stance, not expecting a thing, and she shoots. And she took care of it, but it was like a short, and she turned back and we're laughing and she goes, "You fuckers,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
exactly what was going to happen." And we're just laughing. We're like,
That's good.
we knew you could handle it. Like we gave her enough where it was
Yeah.
safe. Like we weren't being unsafe with it, but we also didn't tell her that, oh, it's going to kick really hard.
Yeah. Oh my
So,
gosh, that's good.
yeah.
Good memories.
Same thing when she shot my 1911 the first time,
Okay.
that 45 caliber. I'm like, hey, this thing's going to kick. And I don't think she realized how much it was going to kick.
It's a very smooth kick, though.
Yes.
1911 definitely is a smoother kick out of the others.
Oh, completely.
Okay.
Completely.
So there's three topics that we kind of want to touch on here. So the first one being, why do people need firearms? Why do people want firearms? And why do people not like firearms? We can just kind of go straight down the list here.
Yeah.
So why do people need firearms? What's your thought on that?
Well, we kind of discussed that, safety, security, that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
Hunting, that kind of stuff. I think you get a lot of people more on the want side. You have some big collectors. I mean, there's a lot of firearms that are very collectible firearms,
True.
right? Big times in history. There's just things. I mean, like the 1911 I had, it was my grandfather's.
So there's history there.
Yeah, history there, stamped United States property.
Yep.
So it was his, like, way back in the day. So super just awesome, right? But that's not even that old of a gun. I think it was made in like 1944.
Well, to you and I, that's
Yeah.
old. Us being in our 30s, but there's guns that have been made hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, and I mean, you think about the 1800s, the Western days, revolvers and that kind of stuff. That there's some history there.
There is. Yeah.
I think my unfortunately when my grandfather passed away, he had a lot of shotguns, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And we found a shotgun that literally is a single shell shotgun that literally is a stock and a barrel. That's it.
So it's funny you bring that up. I've got I believe it's a 410.
Okay.
And there's next to no markings besides 410 on it, and that's half there. So that's what I'm guessing size wise. But yeah, no, the single bore, single stock.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of history with those firearms.
Yep. So going into number 3 here, why do people not like firearms? I think a lot of people don't like firearms because they've never been taught.
I would agree with you 100%. I think there's a nervous or scared factor with that, with people not liking firearms or not wanting firearms because they think they're dangerous, which is true.
Yeah.
They're 100% dangerous.
Absolutely.
I would agree with anybody on that. But if you're taught correctly and you keep them stored correctly, lock and key, there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah.
And I think people just don't know.
Yeah, I agree. And, I think you see the media and you see, everything in the world, people mishandling, firearms.
Correct.
And, it scares people, which is completely valid.
Completely understandable.
I mean, especially, this is a very hot topic, obviously, right now, and has been for many years. But if you look at it, look at what you see in, on the news and, in music videos back in the day and that kind of stuff. All that stuff was mishandled. Not one time did I think you see anyone handling a gun properly.
Correct.
But that's only a small group of people. And it's, there's a big group of people that take very good care of their guns. Safety is the priority. If you go to any gun range, most of the time you have a safety officer there that is making you go over any instructions before. I've been to multiple gun ranges in the area.
Yep.
And you see someone being dumb taking a selfie with a gun and they stop it right away.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done. Yeah, that's one thing that I really do respect about the ranges around here in the Placer and Sacramento County area is the range masters that are there. They don't put up with it.
No.
If you're going to mishandle a tool, being the firearm, you're done. That's it.
Well, it's so dangerous. It's just like driving a car. If you're driving a car erratic, you're going to get pulled over.
Yeah.
The difference is unfortunately, we don't have enough officers that can patrol every square foot of where you're at.
Correct.
When you're at a gun range, you have a range of 15 to 30 stalls that, you have multiple safety officers there, and they're
Correct.
going to
They can
catch
see
it.
the whole thing.
Yeah, they can see everything, cameras, all that. Unfortunately, you don't get that everywhere you go. So I get why people don't like guns.
I agree with you. Yeah, I do.
But I think if you had some proper training and some proper knowledge and just understanding of, this is how you use the gun, this is how you clean the gun, this is how you store the gun. If something happens, this is what you do, X, Y, and Z. If you get a jam, this is how you make sure the gun is safe,
Yep.
check it, and then you fix it.
On that, and I also respect the fact that there's people that hey, I don't want anything to do with firearms.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I respect that completely.
Yeah.
That's your choice. But I think if more people were taught or given the education on it, I think there may possibly be more people that would be interested
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
firearms.
Yep. I would agree with you, because I mean, it's, if you knew, I mean, you take someone out that maybe you've never shot before, they might really enjoy it. Like, you don't need to be a hunter to go
you
use a
don't.
shotgun. You can go skeet and trap shooting and have a blast.
Yep.
And it's the same thing with rifles, with handguns. You don't need to be, you can go out and literally target shoot your entire time with your gun.
Yep.
And nothing else than that, and have a great time.
And have a great time. I agree. No, it's
So,
good.
yeah.
All right. So, how do you store your firearms and ammo? What's your niche there?
So no matter what, all my guns are in safes.
Correct.
So not once, I got safes everywhere.
Yep. Same here.
So I think having multiple safes, it's, for me, is a big deal, because, usually I have a firearm around me most of the time.
Yep.
So I don't know if I'm going to be in the car, if I'm going to be at home. When I get home, having a little kit around, like, that's going in a safe.
Correct.
That's a big deal. But I think I say the same thing with ammo. Ammo is just as dangerous.
I agree.
You have to make sure that it's kept in a place. You don't want it to get to the the weather and that kind of stuff, because it could be dangerous. And what happens if you have a fire? You got to be aware of that, because if
Yep.
fire department shows up and you have a whole bunch of ammo that's not properly stored, that now you're putting their lives in danger, because
Correct.
those can go off.
Yep. Yeah, the heat would definitely make that a risk factor for sure.
Absolutely. So what do you think, if you had to pick one of your biggest pet peeves of firearm storage, what would it be?
Ooh, gosh, you threw me for a loop there.
That was the goal.
Okay, well, you accomplished it. I would say, well, currently living in California, and this is kind of a nationwide thing from what I've read and heard, but not being able to get ammo as easily as we have been in the past.
Yep.
I would say I'm pretty simple. But I would say that not being able to get ammo is probably my biggest pet peeve currently.
And the thing about that is, people don't really realize that, okay, great, you can't get ammo, right? Which means maybe there's less shootings, right? The problem is that also means that there's less people practicing with their guns, because
True.
they're trying to save their ammo.
I think it's a snowball effect. I think you're
Yeah.
right.
So if you have someone that's not able to get target rounds of 9mm, and say they haven't shot, because we just came out of, or not, we're still in a pandemic, for over a year and a half now.
Yeah.
What happens if they haven't shot for a year and a half? And someone comes in their house and they have to shoot that person because they have a gun.
Yeah.
So they're protecting their family, and it doesn't hit. It goes through the wall. It goes through the neighbor's house.
It's funny that you bring that up. So last weekend, so here in Placer County and Northern California in general, in California, to carry a concealed firearm, you have to go through training, you have to go through classes and educational pieces of it to have a license to conceal carry.
Yes.
And I went through here in California, it's every 2 years. And so I went through my shooting course last weekend to requalify to be able to carry a firearm.
Yeah.
And I was actually nervous because I hadn't shot in 3-4 months. And knock on wood for the future, but I did well. I passed. But yeah, with the ease of being able to get ammo, I mean, that's out the window.
Yeah.
So, the ammo that a lot of people have, they want to hold on to just because they can't get ammo as easy as it used to be.
Yep.
And so that was actually kind of a factor for me. It's, not having a lot of ammo to be able to go practice as frequently as I would like to.
Yeah.
But fortunately, I'm still a steady hand and a good shot. So it ended up working out.
Yeah. Well, and then you look at, and obviously it's a nationwide issue with the ammo, but then you look at being in California, how much more difficult it is now.
Extremely.
Going through the separate background check, which, for getting a gun, I'm all for background checks. There's
Totally
mental health is such a big issue that we face in just general. And I get going through a background check and all that, but it seems like to me it's making everything more difficult for legal gun owners to protect themselves and do what they need to do to protect themselves and their families, where you have people that don't have to obey by the laws. I mean, if you and I wanted to go buy certain guns, we can't buy them in California.
Correct. And we actually wouldn't be able to buy them in general because our driver's license is California, not
exactly
somewhere else.
Yeah. So where they can, you have criminals that, okay, I don't care, I have a gun that went from Nevada or Idaho or Montana, that it was legal to buy there and somehow got their hands on it or made it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things
that was a big thing too. The there was a term for it, ghost gun.
Yes.
I think was the term.
Yep.
That was a big thing for a while. I mean, I'm sure it still is. It's just not something that we've heard about in a long time. But yeah, those guns that were made legally but are not legal firearms because there's no serial number, which I don't agree with. I think everything needs to be registered.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not against any gun laws or anything like that, but make it reasonable at the same time.
Correct.
Registering a gun is not that big of a deal.
No.
When you and I had to buy, they changed the laws in California and had to buy lowers for AR-15s.
Yeah.
It's still registered.
Correct.
It's still a registered firearm.
Yes.
I think one of the biggest things that we talk about, being positive around guns and that kind of stuff, but what should change is a national registry.
I agree with that.
You have so much inconsistencies, and I'm not for a big government system and all that kind of stuff, but people move. How many people are moving out of California right now?
Oh, they're going in flocks.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like the goose migration.
Yeah. I mean, literally California in this next election is going to have, or next presidential election will have lower electoral college votes than they did on this last one because people are leaving. And so, okay, so say you and I are leaving the state, we're legal gun owners. We don't have records, right? So
Correct.
We're moving to another state, and what do we do when we get there? Like maybe depending on the state, they might not know.
Correct.
So it's like, you don't know who's coming in to your state. How many people are coming into California from other states that could be, not legal, people carrying guns, bringing it into the States.
Yeah.
And then now it makes us look bad as Californians because
Correct.
They're like, oh, there was another shooting, here. And all that. It just, as a whole, it's a snowball effect. Like
Correct. Yep. Yeah. No, I agree.
So I think, it's tough because it's such a hot topic item and so many people, are worried. They're scared and that kind of stuff. I get it. I completely understand. I highly recommend if you want to learn more about guns, not even if you don't want to learn about guns, take a gun safety class.
Yeah.
And, you get a mixture of people. And, I've heard that There, there's some females that are afraid to go to, a gun class or a CCW class because you have those dominant males and they're like, oh,
Yep.
I know everything about guns.
Yep.
And it's like, no, you don't. That's probably the worst person to learn from.
Correct. Yeah.
And
There's always that guy at the gun range.
oh, absolutely. But they have the women only classes.
Mhm.
They have youth classes. They have so many classes that you can go on, even if it's, say you aren't a youth, or say you're not, in, a female class, say you just aren't comfortable. Talk to the instructor. I guarantee most of the time they'll be like, hey, yeah, go ahead and join this class because we want you to have the knowledge.
Yep. No, I agree.
And even like the CCW classes, even if you don't ever plan on carrying a gun concealed, the knowledge that the CCW classes provides is huge.
Well, I think, oh gosh, I don't know. It's probably been either 4 or 6 years ago, and I think you and I went through a class together.
Yep.
And obviously this was pre the pandemic, and we're in a class, and it was a 10-hour day, and there was a lot of information.
Yep.
I think there's not enough education.
Yeah.
Revolving around firearms in general. I think it's more of a negative aspect, but there's so much more to it. Even if you're against guns, but if you could be educated on it, I could see potentially someone being persuaded.
And what I loved about that class that we took too is they had you bring your gun in.
Yep.
Because obviously you're going to go to the range and that kind of stuff later on. But they checked everyone's gun before you could bring it in, safe, all that. But when you had questions about the gun, like, hey, how do I do this? How would I, how do I clean this gun and all that? The instructors were fabulous.
Unbelievable.
And on top of that, they brought in guns that you maybe have never seen before. Revolvers and, guns that some people may have, some people may not have. A lot of people may have a 22, rifle, but have maybe not a 22 revolver. So here's the differences.
Yep.
Here's a difference between, a 380 bullet to a 9mm to a 40 cal bullet. Here's the difference between, 38 special and a 44 mag. They go through all that stuff.
Correct. Yep. It was very educational.
And the thing I like, and, I know this is taught during like youth classes. If you see a gun, what do you do?
Well, for one, you don't touch it, especially if you're underage.
Exactly. And you go tell a parent, right?
Yep.
So that's the first thing they say. But for when you're an adult, what happens if hypothetically you don't know anything about guns and you're over at the house and there's a gun that is out, which,
would never happen.
Would never happen. But it's hard to say hypotheticals like that because I know it would never happen. But if you had some knowledge on what you could do to potentially at least make it safe or move it to a safe spot,
correct,
that's all knowledge.
Yep.
And I think that's where people start getting more comfortable, is when they start getting that knowledge.
Yep.
And not thinking of it as a political pull, that kind of stuff. Thinking it as, we've had firearms a lot in our history. They're going to stay around.
It's a tool.
It's a
not
tool.
going anywhere.
And maybe educate yourself just like you would educate yourself on driving a car.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Chris.
I mean, not you and I maybe not know how to do everything on a car. I know how to drive it. I know how to change the oil. I know how to change the tires. But you have mechanics just like you have gunsmiths.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's a tool.
True.
It's a use. So educate yourself on it. And, it's whether you use it or not, I think the educational piece is huge.
Yeah. And I think, at the least, the educational piece will be able to make you feel a little bit more comfortable. We're not saying that you have to go out and start shooting and you got to buy your first gun and, snowball from there. No, just educate yourself.
Absolutely.
That's it. I think there'd be less, in my opinion, there'd be less of a fear factor when it comes to firearms if you had just a little bit more knowledge.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
well, let's
on a lighter note, let's cheers for that. Why don't we get into, so that's our, educational a little bit. We didn't get too nitty gritty just because there's so many varieties of guns and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And every gun's different, right?
Correct.
But why don't we get into maybe, because you and I are gun people.
Correct.
We're
Yep.
gun, I would say gun enthusiasts. Um, so why don't we get into maybe some of our favorites in calibers and favorite firearms
Okay.
and go through that. So why don't we just throw out right at the very get-go, what is your favorite firearm?
I can only choose one.
You can only choose one.
Oh my gosh. So
I was going to open this up to saying, hey, what's your favorite rifle? What's your favorite handgun? Favorite shotgun? No. What is
No.
your one favorite gun?
I would have to. So I know it's probably a 50-50 crowd, but I'm a huge Glock fan. I mean, just hands down, in my opinion, I think it's probably one of the best firearms made. And in particular, the Glock 43.
Okay.
It's chambered in a 9mm. It's a small to medium size firearm.
Okay.
More tailored to the small side, I believe,
Yeah.
if you were to compare it in the line of Glocks. But it's very simple. Glocks in general.
I agree. I completely agree.
There's less than 10 parts to the gun. It's very lightweight. It's extremely easy
Yep.
to field strip, clean, put back together. I can actually confidently say that I can strip a Glock blindfolded.
I completely believe that.
And I think anybody that is a Glock fan, or maybe necessarily you're not a Glock fan, but you have one or two, I think that you would agree they're extremely simple.
Yeah.
It's a very simplistic gun.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So I would say Glock 43.
Okay. So I think I'm going to throw you for a loop on mine.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. So my favorite firearm.
Okay.
My over-under shotgun.
I was gonna go shotgun, but my Glock just one-upped it there for a second. Okay,
Yeah,
so over-under shotgun.
So my Beretta Pigeon 2 over-under shotgun
Okay.
is by far my favorite.
Okay.
I love just going out and shooting skeet and trap.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I don't do it as much as I want to.
We need to plan a day and maybe get some video.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
we're not very good, but we can attempt to make the videos look good.
That sounds like exclusive content to me.
It does,
Yeah.
which you can subscribe to.
Yeah, subscribe on our Patreon, patreon.com/The Ultimate Buffet.
I like
So
it.
there
That's
we
good.
go. Little plug.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers on that one.
Gosh, this Winchester Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This is good.
Not
Okay.
too bad.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Over under.
So over under by far my favorite.
Okay.
I just love the simplicity of it. It's just a great firearm. It shoots so smooth. It's a great time.
How long have you had that gun? Do you know?
Gosh, I would say, I probably have had that for about 7 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was actually a gift to me from my parents.
Okay.
So I was very spoiled on that one.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, I unfortunately wasn't able to do a Christmas with the family that one year. I had to work, so
Okay.
they left. They went out of town, but basically left me by myself.
Yeah.
So I when they came back, I was obviously excited to see them because they were gone for a couple weeks, or a week and a half, something like that, and they came back and they come walking in the door with this case, and I'm like, "What is that?" They're like, "We didn't forget about you. Merry Christmas." And I'm
Oh
like,
my gosh,
"What
how
the
awesome.
heck?" Yeah, and I was so stoked.
Yeah.
I think the next day my dad and I went out and shot it. So
That's awesome. Okay.
that gun, out of the firearms I own, I would say is my favorite.
Okay. Good. That's good. I like it.
So let's go into favorite calibers. I didn't put shotgun on here, but I think we probably both agree on shotgun.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
12
12 gauge.
Yeah, there's no other choice. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
For a kid, a 20 gauge,
Yep.
410, I get it. For me, I'm not shooting a 410 or
No.
20 gauge. I can shoot 20 gauge with my freaking one arm out,
Yep.
fully extended.
Yep.
12 gauge. That's give me some kick on that.
Exactly.
So why don't we go into handgun? So you have a little bit of knowledge here, I see.
Yeah, so this was not me. This was Google, but it was a story that I had heard. Gosh, it's been a handful of years now. But so my favorite caliber is 9 millimeter hollow point. And so a little bit of backstory. Everybody, not everybody, a majority of people think that 9 millimeter doesn't pack a punch. In my opinion, and others, the 9 millimeter does pack a punch if it's chambered correctly. Um, so just the short little backstory of the story that I heard, the FBI had always used a 9 millimeter, and there was a shootout that happened in Miami, Florida, in 1986 that took the life of two fallen officers. Rest in peace to them. But they thought that the 9 millimeter didn't pack enough punch in regards to taking down the alleged assailants, and so they switched to a 40 caliber, and they actually went back to a 9 millimeter in 2016 with a Glock. So that's a Glock 9 millimeter that they currently use. And they actually, a few years ago, came out with the Gen 5 Glock, which is ambidextrous,
Yep.
which I didn't know about for a while, but it's actually a majority of FBI agents are left-handed.
Oh, I did not know that.
I did not know that either. And in regards to a Glock, for anybody that is familiar, the slide release is, if you're right-handed, it's your right thumb. So the new Glock Gen 5 that they came out with, being ambidextrous, if you're left-handed or right-handed, you could release that slide with the slide release with your right thumb or your left. So they tailored it to them specifically, and so the FBI has been carrying a 9 millimeter since 2016. Obviously, with technology and ballistics, the 9 millimeter has come a long way.
Absolutely.
Since the 1980s. So it's something that is easier for the most part to get 9 millimeter. It is
used to be cheap, pretty cheap too.
It used to be extremely cheap. It's not as cheap anymore. And correct me if I'm wrong, or if anybody's listening, they can correct us as well. But I still feel that in regards to a good caliber, 9 millimeter is probably on the cheaper end.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So it's funny that you bring it up because of the stopping power. Mm-hmm. So, growing up, not really, I didn't really have handguns around and that kind of stuff. It was rifles.
Yep.
Shotguns was the major thing. My first gun I shot was a shotgun. But getting into college and that kind of stuff, I was always a 40 cal person.
Okay.
Because of the stopping power. I had a roommate that, he was a good, big gun guy, worked behind a gun counter at, a store, and we'd talk about it and all that kind of stuff. And he, we would look over it and, the 40 cal had more stopping power on average. Right. So I started buying 40 cals. I CCW guns as 40 cals, Glocks,
Yeah. So that's
SIGs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have a lot of 40 cals. I will say I have started moving over to 9 millimeter though.
So another thing, just real quick, in regards to why the FBI switched to the 9 millimeter, another portion of the story that I read was the fact that they're easier to shoot.
Yes.
So the recoil is less,
mm-hmm.
meaning that third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh shot is going to be more accurate than having such a bigger kick with a 40 or a 45.
Well, and that's why most law enforcement uses a 9 millimeter.
Correct.
I know there was a stint there that a lot of them did go to 40 cal.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at a normal officer that, shoots on that 6th, 7th, 8th round, it's not as accurate because that recoil, it's taking a toll. And if you're
taking a toll for sure.
If you're in a stressful situation, where you have to shoot and you're in a shootout, those rounds are the ones that count.
Correct.
So, I mean, yeah, maybe I can put one downrange money, but what happens with the second, the third?
Especially with a rapid fire situation,
Exactly.
your risk just, for the most part, there's one-off situations, and there's people that are great shooting 40 or 45.
Yep.
That's, more kudos to you.
Yeah.
But for someone that maybe doesn't have as strong of a wrist, or they don't lock it out as well as others, if you were to put a hollow point in a 9mm, I personally think that it has just as much stopping power as the others.
Yeah. And what's nice too about a 9mm is you can carry more ammo.
Correct.
In your magazine because it can hold more. They're lighter. And if you have the majority of officers using one round, if you're in a shootout, you can share magazines.
Correct.
You can share
Yep,
ammunition.
that's a good point.
It's a tool that is used through across multiple, just rather than just saying, oh, I can shoot this down the range, I can do it. It's a bigger picture kind of look. So for me personally, like I said, I was a 40 cal person. Good luck finding 40 cal nowadays anyways.
Yeah.
40 cal, I mean, you can't even find it. So I've been switching over to 9mm.
Yep.
For the reason of ballistic technology has changed.
Correct.
I can have more ammunition. I can have lighter ammunition. And now the ammunition that I have can be shared with people that I know. So
it's more universal.
Correct.
I think, the big thing with 9mm, it's more of a universal round.
Correct.
So, okay, good.
Okay. So, favorite rifle caliber?
So I don't have a massive amount of rifles. Mine are a majority handguns, but I would have to say, out of the rifles I do have, I would have to go 223-5.56.
Okay.
And there's a couple things. One, that's kind of where I started.
Yep.
Secondly, you could correct me if I'm wrong, and other people as well, but when it comes to 223-5.56, I feel that that's more of a universal round.
Absolutely.
Than any other caliber. It's kind of like the 9mm.
Yep.
In my eyes.
Yep.
I think it's more of a universal round. It doesn't have as big of a kick as others. But I know recently you got a new rifle.
Yep. So I got a 6.5 Creedmoor.
Okay.
Well, this was a little bit ago.
Yeah.
I mean, not new at all. So
Yeah.
to the wife that's listening, I did not buy a new gun. No,
This is not something new.
This is not something
Wife.
new. This has been a little bit ago. So, but yes, I have a 6.5 Creedmoor that I like a lot. I wanted a 308.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I couldn't get my hands on a 308.
Okay.
So the 6.5 Creedmoor was the second choice on that one.
Okay.
But if I had to say my favorite rifle round, I'm going to go 30-06.
Ooh, okay.
So you got that big bullet,
Yep.
that big buck.
Yep.
I got, I have a rifle that's a 30-06. It's nice. It's a great gun to shoot. But the 6.5 Creedmoor is pretty.
I mean, that's a beautiful round.
Yeah. I mean, very similar to 308.
Yep.
A little bit shorter.
Yep.
But it works really well. It's very smooth, very accurate.
Good.
It's a great, going out and shooting targets is so much fun. Don't like the cost on it, but it's still fun.
Well, I mean, that's cost with anything these days.
Yeah. Well, a box of 20 costing $50 is,
Yep.
is crazy, but it's fun.
Okay, good.
So,
All right. Let's go into firearm upgrades. So as I've said in the past, I'm a very simplistic type of person. I'm not a big firearms upgrade person.
I agree.
I don't get me wrong. If there was a beautiful Glock 17 with a red dot and some of the slide cut out, just made as a pretty gun, yeah, I'd love it. But if I were to spend the money, I'm stock.
Yeah.
I'd have to say 90% of the handguns that I have, I've swapped the optics out, so with some night sights. Other than that, I don't touch the trigger. I don't touch the springs, barrel. I leave everything stock.
Yep.
In my opinion, guns are built how they're built for a reason.
Yep. So I think with handguns, I agree. I think night sights should be on every handgun. I don't know why.
I think that should be stock.
I don't know why. I think that's a safety thing, especially if you look at going back to our original, episode or the start of the episode talking about safety of your family and all that in your house and that kind of stuff. If someone breaks into your house at night and you don't have night sights, you don't know where you're aiming.
Correct.
So night sights, I don't know why they should be a standard across the board.
Yeah, like I said, I've swapped all about 90% of mine out.
Yeah. The other thing I do like, and I'm with you, I'm completely stock. I would say on a couple of my guns, I do have some magazine extensions.
Okay.
So I do like that on a couple of guns just for their purposes.
Correct.
Having, an additional 3 to 5 rounds makes a difference.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with you. So we've got handguns, shotguns, and rifles listed here. Handguns, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just stick with the sights.
Yep.
I think that's all I wouldn't mind doing a project gun, but it's nothing that I would carry.
Yeah.
If money was no object, yeah, I would definitely do a gun that you could swap out the barrel and the trigger pull and
See, I don't know if I'd do that with a handgun though. If money wasn't an option, I probably would do that with a rifle.
Well, okay, so let's jump into that. So, in regards to rifle, I firmly believe that you have to have a good scope
Absolutely.
and a tripod.
Okay. Yeah. Which
Those
I have both on.
okay,
yeah.
good. Those would be my two biggest, I think.
I think rifles have a lot more options to fit the user better. So
Okay.
what I like about rifles is you can change out the stocks. You can change out the height of the stock. So I'm
That's
a
true.
bigger guy, so I have an extension on my stock. So when I put my face down on it, I can see through the scope better. I have, on mine, I got a threaded barrel, which I can't use anywhere in California. So I just got to go visit some friends in Texas to go use that.
Yeah.
But, I got a tripod. My scope is legit on my rifle.
Awesome.
I mean, it's cheating all the way through.
Yeah.
But for technology wise, talking about technology wise,
Well, if you're trying to hit a boar at 225 yards, you've got to cheat.
well, no, I'm not even trying to cheat with that. I mean, it takes the thinking out of shooting, which to some people you're going to say you're cheating. You're not, especially target shooters. They're going to be like, no, you need to be able to change your how you shoot it and your dope and that kind of stuff. Mine, you can use a rangefinder and it'll Bluetooth to your scope and adjust your setting.
Of course, Chris would have technology built into a rifle.
Yeah. Not bought on Amazon though.
Not
Just want to point that out. So I like it. It's nice for me. It has a big old zoom on it, so I can. It's a 5-22. So you want to search around looking for some stuff, you can zoom in on it. It's super nice. But it's a combination. You have to have the stock. You have to have the scope. You have to have the tripod at the right height to do all this.
Well, yeah, I think like we said earlier with the snowball effect.
Yep.
You do one thing to a gun and it just leads to
True.
the next.
And you look at AR platforms.
Yeah.
There's endless possibilities with those.
Endless. Yes, I agree.
So I mean, there's so many different things. Do you want it to be more of a long distance rifle? Do you want it to be more of a CQB status? Like there's a lot of options that you can do on with an AR platform that
Yeah.
you can't do with a lot of rifles.
True.
But
That's true.
it's at the end of the day, it's what are you using it for? What do you need from the gun as a tool?
Yeah. No, you're right. Okay. So upgrades, I think we would agree that more stock is the way to go,
Correct.
in our opinion. Okay.
Well, we have one more option: shotguns.
I'm gonna keep shotguns stock. I don't have, so I'm a hunter, so I don't have a tactical shotgun. Mine are, I've got a good old Rusty, the Remington 870 Express. I mean, you could throw that thing in water for a week and it would still shoot.
Yeah.
Um, so between that and then I have a couple other shotguns that are all stock.
So I agree with you. I like a lot of stock. I think I don't know, my tactical shotgun, I got, light on
It
it.
is good looking.
Yeah,
I will say that.
I got lights on it and got multiple red dots on it. And it's, you want to turn a corner on it, you got a separate red dot just for that.
Yeah.
Um, plus you got, special ammo to blow through some doors. And
It's definitely the ultimate home defense shotgun.
oh yeah, you put that barrel right up against the door lock and blow the
Yeah.
crap out of it. You want to destroy a door? Yeah, take my shotgun, put it up against the door. I'll shred the shit out of any door. So you want your deadbolt's gone.
That's
so, but I do lean more towards the stock.
Yeah.
I don't know. You have to have fun with some of your guns. And
No, you do. No, I totally agree. And I actually, in regards to upgrades, I'd say the gun that I have the most upgrades on is the AR-15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say mine is probably my tactical shotgun because I bought that when I was young, dumb, and stupid.
Yeah.
And started getting money.
It had to have every option
Oh,
possible.
yeah. Well, and it's like you look at the money, it's like, oh, I'm making a good amount of money.
Yeah.
Well, I don't need a house yet. Let me put, some money over here and some money over there.
Yeah.
Then you realize, oh shoot, I need a house.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, maybe I need to grow up and maybe I shouldn't have spent, a couple grand on one gun.
On one gun.
Yeah.
That's good.
So, you have to have one. I would say that would be my one.
That's good. That's true. Yeah, you've got to have that one that you want to do the upgrades to.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't we get into what we're gonna do next week?
Yeah, absolutely. So next week's episode, we're going to change it up. Like you said, ultimate buffet. There's all different varieties. We've gone over ourselves. We've talked about trucks. We've talked about firearms this week, which if you've listened, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Even if you're not a truck person or a firearm person, hopefully you've gotten some knowledge. And like we said, if you have questions or comments and all that, comment on our stuff.
Yep.
Send us an email. We love seeing that stuff. We'll definitely answer your questions and go from there. But next week, I think, is going to be a little bit of I think
polar opposite from tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we needed that.
I agree.
I think we need, we have some serious talk. We have some fun talk. And I think next week's episode is going to be cooking tools.
Okay. Which, if you do or do not know, Chris and I, we both thoroughly enjoy the kitchen.
Yes.
We're always cooking up something, sending photos back and forth. It's kind of a sickness, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It was funny because I was actually talking to my father-in-law last week after our last week episode, before this one, talking about this episode. We were just talking a little bit. Then I was talking the week episode after, and we're talking about cooking tools, and he's a huge cook as well. So he loves cooking and that kind of stuff.
Oh,
and we're talking about his favorite cooking tools.
Yeah.
So him and I were already kind of talking about it
Okay.
and just giving me more ideas. So it's going to be good.
I'm not going to dive into it, but just off the top of my head, there's two that I use at least twice a day. And we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
But I've got my favorite cooking tools.
Yeah. I think we're going to throw some curveballs with that one. So I think it'll be
I'm
some
in.
fun. So so that will be next week's episode, cooking tools. Thank you again, everyone, for listening. Please remember to subscribe to all our social media platforms. Instagram, go on to Apple, Spotify, and Amazon Music or Audible to listen to the podcast. And moving forward, patreon.com/The Ultimate Buffet. We'll start doing early releases, exclusive content, depending on what level you guys want to go.
Awesome.
And then we'll continue our weekly episodes, on those platforms. But like, subscribe, and comment. And if you guys have, any people in the Sacramento County, Placer County, Nevada County area that want to sponsor, or even potentially want to be a guest speaker, send us a message. We can get some information. We would love to help broadcast your business or what you do on our podcast here.
That's good. Yeah, like I said earlier, we love the small to medium sized business, local, family owned type stuff, farm to fork. That's us.
Yep, absolutely. Well, thank you again. Thank you for listening to the Ultimate Buffet podcast. I am Chris.
I'm Sean.
And
Cheers.
cheers.
Outro.